Hello, hello, everybody. It's me, Shannon LaBruyere. I am live and I'm loving it tonight. Welcome to Sunday Night Live, where we explore the principles that equip us to thrive and change. We can thrive in the change that we planned that maybe didn't turn out the way we expected. We can thrive in the change that came out of nowhere and we have no idea what happened. We can thrive when we know the basic principles that allow us to be resilient and allow us to be empowered to own our growth in the midst of change. So, welcome. Thank you for being here. Jump in and say hi in the comments. Oh, Mary, you get to be here live. I'm so glad. Carol, hi. Thank you for being here. So excited to talk tonight about the idea of being humble. Kelly, hi. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so delighted to see you. You've been gone for a little bit, so I'm glad you're here. And if you are just now jumping in to watch Sunday Night Live for the first time, especially if you're a first time viewer, jump in and tell us hi. Tell us where you're watching from. Laura, I'm glad you're here. Loving seeing all you guys jumping on live. It's always so fun. So tonight, let's share what our hashtag, what our Thrive principle is. It is hashtag bring the honor. Hashtag bring the honor is what our topic tonight is going to explore. And it really is talking about the most basic honor that we have as a person, which is our gifts, our talents, our uniqueness. There is honor in your uniqueness, and we're going to explore that. Can't wait. And you are watching Sunday Night Live courtesy of thumbroastcoffee.com. Thumb Roast Coffee is my favorite coffee. I love it so much. I enjoy it. I look forward to it at night and can't wait in the morning when I get up to click that coffee pot on and start brewing it. It's wonderful. If you enjoy coffee, and if coffee is more than just a cup of coffee to you, if you enjoy the experience of coffee, then you are going to love Thumb Roast Coffee because it is high quality, delicious coffee. And you can get it at thumbroastcoffee.com and get 15% off of their website when you use the coupon code THRIVE. Thrive is going to get you 15% off. You will not be sorry. You will love it. I promise. It's delicious. All right, so let's get started. What we're talking about tonight is this thing that I've noticed, and what caused me to jump into this topic tonight was a conversation that I had with somebody earlier today who was talking about somebody they love who didn't want to own their very impressive gifts in the musical realm. A gifted singer, a gifted musician, a pianist, a ukuleleist, just a beautiful, beautiful, all around talented person. And yet, uh, for some reason, doesn't step into that. And it got me thinking about the people that I know that are actually embarrassed for the things they're good at. They're embarrassed because they're awesome. They are embarrassed because they are talented, because they've put in the hard work to become highly skilled. And this isn't just a once in a while thing. Time and time and time again, I run into this with my clients, whether they're individuals or whether they're in the live stream leadership program or some other group mastermind that I'm running. I run into people who, for whatever reason, don't own their greatness, don't own the things they're good at. And this is often why they don't. This is what they say. Well, I don't want to be arrogant, right? I don't want to be arrogant. Oh, hi, Maggie. I don't want to be arrogant because I'm good at something. That's the excuse that they use for not owning their awesomeness, for not stepping up and just being delighted in the things that they're good at, taking delight in the work that they've put in to get good at something or often great at something. "Oh, I just don't want to be arrogant. I don't want to get a big head." Have you said that? Have you ever said that? Somebody compliments you on something awesome you do, and you go, "Oh, thanks. You know what? It's nothing." And you downplay it. I know I'm talking to somebody. I know I am, because it happens all the time. This is the thing. That's fake. It's fake humbleness, because that's not what humble is. And if you write anything down tonight, I suggest this is the thing you write down. This is the definition of being humble. Being humble doesn't mean that you deny your strengths, dismiss compliments. Being humble doesn't mean that you pretend that you're not as good at something as you are. Being humble doesn't mean you deny your strengths. Being humble means you own your weaknesses. Being humble doesn't mean you deny your strengths. Being humble means you own your weaknesses. That, my friends, is the key to not getting a big head. That's the key to not being arrogant. It's not that you pretend you're not great, that you're not awesome, that you're not gifted, talented, smart, beautiful, kind, gracious. Fill in the blank. It's not that you pretend you aren't those things. It's that you understand. It's that I understand that I have weaknesses and I own them. I don't try to pretend they don't exist because they are eclipsed by my greatness. That, my friends, is arrogant. Kelly says this: "I know I am good at things, but have a hard time accepting a compliment." Yeah, you're not alone. You're not alone. Sometimes it feels awkward to accept a compliment. And I'm confident that tonight, after we've explored this topic a little more, it will be easier for you to accept a compliment. That doesn't mean it'll feel comfortable at first, but you can get good at it. You can get comfortable accepting a compliment. Hi, Corinne. I'm glad you're here. So, the definition of humble is not that we deny our strengths, our gifts, our talents. It is that we accept that we have weaknesses. I want you to picture being on an airplane and there's a medical emergency. Somebody's having a heart attack. And so they get on the loudspeaker and the flight attendant says, is there a doctor here? We need a doctor. Is there a doctor anywhere? And nobody answers. Nobody comes to the rescue. Everybody just looks around. And then way in the back of the plane, a lady raises her hand and says, "Come here." Whispering, I went to medical school. Well, are you a doctor? Well, yeah, I'm a heart doctor. You're a heart doctor. We think we're having a person with a heart attack. That you'll be perfect. Well, I don't know. Can you even conceive of that happening? Can you even conceive of that? But you do that anytime somebody says, "Hey, do we have somebody who can facilitate a group?" Laura just facilitated a mastermind group yesterday and did a fantastic job. Hadn't done it before and did a fantastic job. Stepped in. "Hey, does anybody know Photoshop?" Or is it called Creative Suite now, right? Well, I don't know. I'm not great. I'm not as good as those really high paid graphic designers. Really? You're like the doctor on the plane who's like flying under the radar. Each one of you has something that you've worked hard at, that you are excellent at. And when you pretend you're not, it's like a doctor pretending they don't have an education, not wanting to help anybody. You've got skills, you've got talents, you've got abilities, you've worked on them, you've sharpened them, you've honed them. You can, with confidence, acknowledge that. Doesn't mean that you say, I am the world's best, unless you are the world's best, in which case you can say that because it's true. Michael Phelps, who is the greatest swimmer of all time, knows that he's the greatest swimmer of all times. It doesn't do him any good to pretend he's not a great swimmer, right? The same for you. The same for you. And this is why it's so important that you and I acknowledge where we have gifts, where we have strengths, where we have talent. There's a few reasons why. The first one is this, not in any particular order, but the first one we're going to talk about is this. When we acknowledge that we are good at something, it allows us to add value to others. When we are good at something, we can use that skill to add value to others. If every doctor waited to be the world's best brain surgeon, there'd be millions of people who never got brain surgery because only one person can be the best. But you and I don't have to be the best at what we do. That's a hierarchical thing. We don't have to be the best in our field, the best at what we do, to be good enough at it to add value to somebody or to become great at it. We sometimes think in these hierarchical terms. And sometimes there's just this much difference between the first place person in the race and the third place person in the race. They're all running really, really fast. Whatever gift, talent, ability you possess, I want you to embrace the fact that you do not have to be the world's best at it to use it to add value to others. That is part of being humble. I have a gift. I have a talent. I am willing to use that to add value to other people, even when it's risky. And what's risky? Well, I know what's risky for me. Maybe messing it up. Maybe not being as great as what I thought. Maybe somebody else nearby being better. Risky. But being humble says, I own my strengths, my talents, and my abilities. I don't deny them. I embrace them. I acknowledge I have them. And I also understand that I have weaknesses. I am a whole person. And when we understand that, we can use our strengths to help somebody else to add value to somebody else. Maggie says, exactly. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Oh, you guys, I love this. I just love this. All right. The second thing that happens when we understand what being humble truly means is we understand our strengths and we can then amplify them. Now, Kelly says this, one of the risks, being afraid of criticism. Yes. There's a million critics out there. I'm here to tell you, you will never see a job posting that says, we need a critic. I mean, not a movie critic. We need somebody who can find flaws. We need somebody who can point out everything that's wrong. We need somebody who can make other people feel stupid for having stepped out and done something. You'll never find a job posted that asks for that, ever. There's a million people who can fill that role. They do not matter. They just don't. There will always be somebody who wants to criticize, and it doesn't feel good. And we can be afraid of it. I'm afraid of it at times, but we can do it afraid because the critics don't matter. It's the people who are out there doing the work, doing the work. When you can recognize with humbleness, right? The real kind of humbleness, when you can recognize where your skills lie and where your strengths lie, you can then focus on those areas and you can amplify them and you will see exponential improvement. Focused, intentional, consistent growth in your strength zone turns you into superwoman, turns you into superman. It takes a strength and makes it a superpower. If you're afraid to own that you're good at something, that you have a talent in a certain area, if you don't want to step into that, if you're embarrassed that you're actually awesome, you can't make the most of your gifts and your talents. We have to understand what we're good at and allow ourselves to embrace that and invest in it. Invest our most valuable, precious resources, our time, the thing we can't get more of, right? Our energy, sometimes our finances. Yeah. Carol says this, a lot of times after I say thank you, oh, this is nice. So Kelly, let's explore. This is somebody sharing with us what they do when they get a compliment. Carol says, a lot of times after I say thank you, I then give credit to the ones I got that knowledge from. Yes, I just learned that concept from our coach at last Saturday's leadership class. And I'm so thankful for everything I learned. And then I'm able to share. You have also, oh, now she's complimenting me. Thank you, Carol. You've also taught us to do things afraid. And in doing that, we know we may be criticized. Yeah. Sometimes whoever is in the audience can intimidate us too. That I'm still working on overcoming. Yeah. Kelly, there's a nugget of truth there. And I'm actually gonna incorporate this. I love what you said there, Carol, that acknowledging that I learned that somewhere, right? Not that I woke up and was awesome at fill in the blank, but I'm growing and I'm learning, and this is where I learned it from. I learned that, you know what? Thank you. I took a photography class online and it taught me so much. Accepting the compliment, thank you. I'm glad you noticed that I'm improving. I'm working at it. That's a beautiful thing. That's very humble in the most beautiful way. And it also points people into a direction that says you can grow too. What a gift. What a gift. All right. So when we acknowledge our strengths and our talents, it allows us to add value to others. It allows us to amplify our impact. It allows us to focus on expanding them, to truly focus on expanding our strengths. Kelly says, I can see how that would make me feel less awkward. Good. I like that too. I'm going to actually incorporate that when I do responding because I want people to understand that I'm on a journey, right? We're all on a journey. We're all trying to get better. We're all growing. All of us here on Livestream Leadership. A lot of people aren't, but you guys are. You guys are. You're awesome. All right. So when we understand where our gifts and talents are, we can focus on growing them. We can focus on growing them. And that intentional, consistent focus on growing our strengths has exponential benefit. I spent way too many years, and I mean way too many years. I spent 45 years, actually 47 years. I spent 47 years thinking that my job was to try and boost the areas that I was weak. And when I began studying with the John Maxwell team to become a certified speaker, coach, and trainer, my coach within that program said, Shannon, you're not supposed to try and get better at your weaknesses. You're supposed to find ways to offset those and find other people to help you while you focus on your strengths. And I'm telling you, the joy that came with knowing that, because think about it, when you put all of your energy into trying to get better at things you're just going to be mediocre at for the rest of your life, you pretty much just have condemned yourself to always being in the middle. You never put enough energy into your strengths because you don't have it. You don't have enough energy to devote to growing your strengths and your talents. So those never get great. And then you never really do get good at calculus, in my case. So Margaret says that's a great way to take the focus off oneself if it makes one uncomfortable to accept compliments. Yeah. Carol says, Kelly, that will take the pressure off to say thank you and then go into a conversation that will continue the conversation instead of stopping it to avoid the awkward moment. Generous, right? Generously opening that conversation up and modeling what it looks like to be humble in the truest sense of the word. Knowing that, yeah, I worked hard on that. I'm glad it looks good. And I learned that from so and so, or I just took a class, or I read this book. And keep that conversation going. Beautiful. All right. So, in the true sense of being humble, understanding your gifts and understanding your weaknesses helps you to be able to have a much bigger influence on the world. It also comes with a responsibility. Oh, here's a good question. Laura says, does it seem women have a lot harder time with this than men? As a woman, I can speak to that. I seem to feel like I have more of a challenge with that than many men do. I think culturally, that's what I've observed. Perhaps you have observed the same. I wouldn't say that it's across the board, but I definitely think that men over time have been encouraged to stick their chest out and to maybe overstate their gifts a little bit. Culture has allowed them to do that. Culture has encouraged them to do that. And on the flip side of that, our culture here in the United States, at least, our culture has sort of taught women that it's not modest to own your strengths and that it is not humble, right? And being humble is important for women. It's being not bragging. Let's put it that way, not bragging. So I guess to answer your question, Laura, I would say, yeah, I think that the women I work with have more trouble with it than the men that I work with as a coach. It's what I've observed. And you're welcome, Carol. It's my delight to lean into my strength zone and to share principles like this with you because I love it. I find it valuable. And I also have worked many, many, many years honing this skill so that you could transform. It's a delight to do it. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to. So understanding our gifts means that we also have to understand our responsibility. And I want to bring in this idea of stewardship. Being a steward of something means that we don't just babysit it to make sure it doesn't get hurt. We actually, when we're being a steward of our talent, it's not just that we're making sure none of it goes away. We're actually trying to allocate it well, right? Being a steward of finances means that we're trying to invest them wisely. We're trying to make sure that we risk the right amount, that we don't risk too much, that we put them in the right direction. When I'm a steward of my energy, I want to make sure that I'm not squandering it on being angry and frustrated in traffic jams, but that I learn to let that go so that I can keep that energy for something valuable like my family, like being positive, like focusing on my growth, right? So being a steward is part of Bring the Honor. We are a steward of our gifts that we've been given by God. We are stewards of that. And when we are humble, we understand the responsibility that comes with our gifts and our talents. And that means we have to pay attention to what we're doing with them. If you are a gifted musician and you never play because you were second place in some competition, you are depriving so many people of beauty because you're not stewarding your gift. You've buried it, you've abandoned it. If you are a gifted physician, don't you have a a moral obligation? Isn't it part of bringing the honor to share that with the world, to help others? It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful opportunity. Your gifts and talents are just as significant, just as important to the world around you as those of a doctor or a lawyer or an airline pilot or a quarterback. Congratulations, Matt Stafford, for winning the Super Bowl. Your gifts and talents are just as important. They are no less. They are yours, and they are yours to steward so that they can have some kind of a positive influence on your world. Carol says, sometimes I don't want to do my homework, but the one thing I know, my life in every way is better. Yeah, when we learn these principles and we apply them, our life is better. And not just our life, the lives of the people around us are better, because that's what these principles do. They inspire us to add value to others. Kelly says, if I'm running late for work, the car in front of me doesn't know that. Why should I be mad at him? And she says that she's learned that here on Sunday Night Live. Yes. Yeah. So powerful. Such a beautiful shift and life changing. And it allows us to put that energy that we wasted on things we couldn't change and focus them on the things we can. The world needs your gifts. Your friends need it. Your family needs it. Your employer needs it. And if there are people in your life who do not want your gifts, especially if you're at a job and they do not want your best gifts, as a person who is going to bring the honor, you're responsible to steward those gifts. You're responsible to say, I am talented in this area and they don't want me. What am I going to do with that? Maybe I'll volunteer, right? Maybe I'll volunteer. Maybe I'll sing at the nursing home. Maybe I'll go help some friends paint their living room. Whatever your gifts and talents are, if your employer is not interested in them, that doesn't mean you can't use them, and you certainly can't blame them, because you are the steward of your resources. You are the steward of your gifts, your talents, your abilities. That's what being humble is. I own my strengths. I understand where I can add value. And I also don't think that that eliminates weakness. I know I've got weakness too. But how can I amplify those strengths to add value to people? Corey, okay, something that happens to me sometimes, she said, is that I make the assumption that others know what I know. I never want someone to feel like I'm talking down to them, so it can take me a little while to read the person and their level of understanding of a topic before I share. And that's prudent. That's prudent, Corey. It is prudent, because to assume that somebody doesn't know what we know can actually come across as very arrogant. It can come across as very condescending. So what's the solution to that? What's the solution? How do you handle it, Corey? How do you handle specifically that situation? On Facebook, I was looking at a meme that somebody posted, and they talked about the moment they knew they were never going to go on a second date. So it was one of those clickbait things. So this person said the moment she knew she was never going to go on a second date was when she was with this man, and I'm not sure where they were, but there was a piano. And so he decided he was going to show her how to play the piano, and he was showing off. And he was not listening to her as she's trying to tell him some things about herself. He was really interested in looking good. And what he did not realize was that she was a concert pianist. And his talent in that area was far inferior to her talent. So, Corey, to your point, somebody jumping in, acting like a know-it-all, when in fact they were the ones who could have been schooled by the other person. So we have to be careful of that. Curiosity helps there. Curiosity helps. Mary says, I didn't realize that my gift of being able to take time to listen to elderly people would help families who could not or would not do that. Listening to stories over and over can be hard. Wow. Mary, a superpower. Listening to the same stories over and over and taking a burden off of a family member so that you can spend time with their loved one or an elderly person that they take care of and helping two people at one time. It's beautiful. It's a gift. It's a gift. Carol says, the great information here and the comments that are really making me think and are worth exploring more. I'm in the same boat with that. Carol, I'm really loving it. We've got good stuff happening here. This has been a great discussion, and thank you. So it's 7:30 Eastern time, and it is time for us to wrap up. But this has been delightful. I am looking forward to seeing more of this discussion, hearing how you deal with your superpowers, your strengths, how you avoid coming across as condescending or a know-it-all. I'll share one little thing with you. I didn't realize one time I was singing, practicing a song with a very gifted pianist. He was very, very gifted. He played beautifully, and I was in awe of him, and I couldn't even believe that I had the opportunity to sing with him. I was so blown away. And so when we got done practicing, he looked at me and he sincerely said, you have a beautiful voice. Thank you for doing this. And I was speechless that somebody with his kind of talent would compliment me. And I didn't know what to say. I think I came across as rather cold. Like I probably looked like I was arrogant, but I was actually just flabbergasted. But this is the thing. I didn't compliment him at all. And the whole time he was playing, I was awestruck. And I felt like that my compliment would be meaningless to him because he was so good at what he did. He must know he's incredible. He must get compliments all the time. Why would a compliment from me matter? But it would have mattered. It would have mattered. A sincere, genuine compliment takes courage sometimes to give, and it is courageous to receive it. So whether you're giving a compliment or you're getting a compliment, being humble, knowing who you are and not living under it, not denying it, and also understanding that you're human goes a long way. It's called class, Kelly says, so it's true. Okay, you guys are awesome. I love you. Thank you for tuning in, and we will talk again soon. Bye.